Hello, athletes and fans of bodybuilding. My name is Tarek El-Guindi with the Mr. Olympia. Today, we have five of the most iconic men's physique competitors in the world. They have won multiple titles. They have won Mr. Olympias, Arnold Classics. They have won the New York Pro. They have made history in bodybuilding by exploding a division that today is the most popular division in bodybuilding, men's physique. I'm going to start with the current Mr. Olympia, Brandon Hendrickson. How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing great. Prep is in motion. We're ready for Mr. Olympia in December.
Awesome, awesome. We're going to also have here four-time Mr. Olympia. He was one of those guys that exploded the division, Jeremy Buendia. Jeremy, good evening.
Good evening, Tarek. It's glad to be back. It's good to talk to you guys. It's been a long time, actually.
Thank you. Also with us, 2022 New York Pro champion. He's also a former Mr. USA's, Kyron Holden. How are you, Kyron?
Cannot complain, man. Doing pretty good.
Kyron just got done with his body work. His chest is coming out, his shirt. He came in trying to intimidate us, but none of us are intimidated.
That's good. That wasn't the play.
And with us, the 2022 Arnold Classic champion, Aaron Banks. How are you, Aaron?
I can't complain, man. I'm good. I'm here. I'm blessed. I can't complain at all, man.
Awesome, awesome. With us, the Muscle Contest Nacional champion. He won the Europa champion. He is third best in the world, Diogo Montenegro. How are you, Diogo?
No, I'm very, very good, bro. I'm very excited for this year's Olympiad.
Sounds good. Guys, this is a great opportunity. Today, we had the passing of one of the most iconic bodybuilders in history. His name is Bill Pearl. And as Arnold Schwarzenegger posted today, he was one of the figures that inspired him in bodybuilding. So just so that all of you guys that are watching this live, this guy in 1952, he won the Mr. San Diego. So 70 years ago, this man was winning bodybuilding shows right here in San Diego. He was a military man in the United States Navy. I want to show a picture of Bill Pearl. So he's definitely one of the pioneers of bodybuilding, and he passed away today. We want to honor him and let him know, and his family and everybody, this is one of the pioneers, one of the guys that, trailed the path for all of us to be here. I want to thank you for your contribution and my deepest condolences to the family. He will always be honored in the bodybuilding community. With that being said, I want to start with you guys. Brandon, you are the current Mr. Olympia, and it's the title that everybody wants. Aaron Banks wants this title. Kyron Holden wants this title. Diogo wants this title. And the guy next to you, it's not enough for him to have four. He's coming back because he wants to have another one. How does it feel to be the Mr. Olympia men's physique in the most popular division in bodybuilding?
It's a blessing to be in the position I'm in. I didn't just get here. I worked really, really hard to be here. And it took a lot of time and a lot of patience and a lot of work to get to the point where I'm at. And to have achieved, 3 Mr. Olympia titles. But not only having those titles, but it's about what I'm doing with the titles. I'm also representing Mr. Olympia globally. I'm doing meet and greets. I'm doing all types of events all year. I'm staying busy, So it's more than just having the title. It's what I'm doing with it. But I'm just motivated. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited to get another title, my 4th title, tie Jeremy. It's going to be a great show. Feels good to be here.
Now, my question to you and Jeremy. One time I did a live with Jay Cutler, and Jay Cutler said, Tarek, winning the Mr. Olympia when you are the current Mr. Olympia is harder than when you are not a Mr. Olympia. Because when you are not a Mr. Olympia, you don't have all these commitments, right? You don't have to go to India. I remember Jeremy, he had to go to India. He had to go in so many events, and now you're going through this. Do you agree with that being a Mr. Olympia just puts a little bit more of of a burden in terms of commitments around the world?
You asking myself or Brandon?
Well, one of you guys. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I wouldn't call it a burden. It comes with the territory, and we love what we do. It's part of the sport. We appreciate our fans because that's who makes us and gives us the platform we have to be successful in what we do. Is it tough to travel and stay on top of everything? Absolutely. You're out of your element. Food's not always something you're used to in the foreign countries. And, especially as you get closer to prep, it's good to be back at home so you can stay on track and make the progress that you need. It is a struggle. I went through a lot of that in my 2017 to 2018 prep. I was traveling a lot. I had a lot of distractions, and ultimately I didn't bring my best to the stage. And, it's not a burden by any means, because that's what we work so hard to get to, is to be that person to represent our division and to be able to travel. It's one of the perks to being the champ, is being able to have that. So it's not a burden, but is it something that makes prep more difficult? Absolutely.
You feel the same way, Brandon?
It's only a burden if you let it. It's all about your mentality. Like, I was in Italy. I had to eat. There was no microwave. I was eating cold chicken every meal, and I had to deal with that. That's what. And this, I chose this. Nobody's making me do this. I chose this. It sucked, but I got it done. I stayed on track. So it's just about the mentality going into it. You can make it suck if you want to, but you can just deal with the process, adapt, and get through it, because it's gonna end. It doesn't last forever. And these are the moments that we remember. When the prep is done, those are the moments we remember. All the things we went through, all the cold chicken I had to eat. Those are the things I remember when I hold that title up.
Very cool. Very cool. Aaron, you won the Arnold Classic 2021, and you placed second at the Mr. Olympia. A lot of people believe that the Arnold Classic is a precursor to the Mr. Olympia. You placed second. You had a very fast, ascending rise to the sport. Talk to me a little bit about your preparation. You need to beat Brandon. That's your goal. Talk to me a little bit about your preparation going to the Mr. Olympia.
Well, Arnold Classic champion, absolutely. Going into this Olympia, really what I'm doing is maintaining everything that I got going on. From the back, which we don't really need any improvements. We made some improvements on the chest, which they wanted a fuller chest, which that's definitely improved. Again, we're 13 weeks and 4 days, and I believe I'm already ready to take that title. And I'm not here to sell fairy tale stories. E-Banks is coming. I'm here. So
you're known for your back. You have one of the most dominant backs, and when you turn from the back is pretty gnarly. Do you think that's the spot where you're really gonna attack some of the other competitors?
No. I'm attack them from my stage presence, my confidence that I bring to the stage, and yeah, my back is a bonus. But what I present and how I present sets me apart from everybody. So that's how I feel.
Chiron, there's a new show coming up. I'm gonna do a plug here called Primetime Muscle on Olympia TV. If you guys don't subscribe to Olympia TV, all of you guys will have a miserable life. But anyways, there's a new show. It's on Muscle and Fitness YouTube. It's called Primetime Muscle. It's Chris Cormier, myself, and Tim Wilkins. And I made a statement which was quite controversial. I said that this is the golden age of bodybuilding. And the reason is the golden age of bodybuilding is because we're having so many categories and so many great physiques that if we only had bodybuilding, we would be missing guys like Brandon Hendrickson, Jeremy Buendia, E-Banks, Diogo Montenegro, and Chiron Holden. And in reality, I mentioned one men's physique guy, Andrew Ferguson. I said Andrew Ferguson might have one of the best abs in bodybuilding, right? How do you feel about the representation of the men's physique division? Do you think that you guys are some of the best bodybuilders in the world?
Absolutely. I feel like even in the men's physique division, I think in the beginning there was a lot of criticism to our division because they didn't think we were bodybuilders. I think in that time we've definitely have built complete physiques, and like we represent the sport, we represent bodybuilding as like actual bodybuilders who take the sport seriously. So I definitely think that we're representing it well. Absolutely.
Hey, Diogo, when I go to Brazil, there's more men's physique competitors than anything I have ever seen. Like, they're coming out of the bathrooms, they're coming out of the rivers, they're coming out of the jungle. There's so many men's physique competitors in Brazil. You are, along with Felipe Franco, Kaique, one of the guys that saw the rise of men's physique in Brazil. Why do you think men's physique became so popular worldwide?
I think men's physique division is bigger year by year, but here in Brazil we have some names like Felipe, like me, that make the people enjoy the category and treat us like superheroes, and they would like to be like us. So that's why the men's physique division is growing so fast here in Brazil.
Very cool, very cool. Jeremy, I have a question for you. Some of the great bodybuilders of all times, Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Dorian Yates, their careers ended because of an injury. Ronnie Coleman, his back wasn't opening anymore. Dorian Yates tore his biceps. Jay Cutler also had a problem with his biceps. You had one of the most dominant dynasties in men's physique. You basically started the division in terms of popularity, but you had a chest tear which was visible. Do you think that was a main factor for your placing in your last Mr. Olympia?
Yeah, it had something to do with it. Absolutely. That's definitely, my chest was one of my strengths before, and now it's not equal on either side, and it's something I'm going to have to work around. I'm going to have to be so much more dominant in all the other body parts that it's going to be able to hide that a little bit. In 2018, I missed my peak. I think I looked really good. I feel like I looked my best ever going in. I just missed my mark. I came in flat. I didn't come in as full as I could have and as tight as I could. And Brandon was on point that year. I remember seeing him backstage, and every other year I was backstage, I knew I had it in the bag until 2018. I saw Brandon took his shirt off. I was like, shit, he's got it this year. And I knew that. And that's kind of why, going into the finals of that show, me and him standing left on stage, I knew I wasn't placing in that top three when it was just him and I left. I knew Brandon had that show won. And, was it my chest? I think it was just a combination of everything that led up that year that was holding me back from my best. That injury, I had a very short prep. My personal life was out of line. I was traveling a lot, and it was distracting, and I wasn't giving my champion effort and going into that prep that was needed in order to stay on top. Brandon outworked me that year because I was too busy playing around and focusing on other things.
Now, going back to Jeremy Buendia and the 4 years that you won the Mr. Olympia, there was a lot of scrutiny on you, not only on you on stage, but on your personal life on the internet. And I believe guys like Phil Heath, Jeremy Buendia, you guys were the first ones to really have the title and also have the scrutiny of social media. And this is one of the topics that I discussed with Chris Cormier, that in the past we would get magazines 3 months later and read about Chris Cormier and Dorian Yates. Right now, somebody can just go on your inbox and attack you guys and say something negative or just create some negativity against you guys. Do you think that also played a part because maybe you, Phil, and some of the first competitors to deal with social media were heavily attacked unnecessarily, right? We love the backup quarterback, right? There's people right now just going against Tom Brady on Instagram for no reason. Did you feel that happening to you as well?
I mean, social media opens up the door for anybody to say anything they want to anybody, whether it's true or not. I'm not going to sit here and say I was perfect in any way because I made a lot of mistakes in my past, and I did give people a lot of reasons to scrutinize me in a lot of ways. All I can say is I'm living in the present, the past, I've done a lot of growing and maturity to get back in the position where I'm sitting here with you guys right now.
Yeah, no, I talked to you at a show, and now you're married. You have a beautiful daughter, and that really changes everybody's life. It changed my life. Brandon, you got to deal with social media, and I look at some of the scrutiny. Sometimes, if you're not on social media, people criticize because they go, "Well, this guy is not active on social media. He's not promoting himself. He's not promoting his brand." How do you feel about dealing with this new phenomena that guys like Dorian Yates, guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger, they didn't have to deal with that?
Yeah, the world changed. It's crazy. You just got to learn how to deal with it. Like before, when I was younger and a lot less wiser, I would respond to a lot of comments. But at this point, I just realized that haters have a job to do. Like, you can't stop what someone wants to do, They're going to do it anyway, and they're going to find a way to do it. So it's just about how you respond to it. For me, I just learned to ignore, not take things personal. People are going to talk regardless. So like I said, it's just about now how you respond to these kind of things. They were lucky in the past. They didn't have to deal with any of this drama, but we do. So we just have to adapt and learn how to respond to it.
Yeah, it's really incredible because as a judge, I had the opportunity to, judge the generation previously, which was Jay Cutler. And Jay Cutler was idolized in such a way. And then Phil Heath came on board, and people just scrutinized his life in a way that I felt like it was unfair. And Phil is an extremely smart and intelligent guy, but it gets tired when people are just going after you. And now that Phil is retired, a lot of the same people that criticized him, they now seeing this was probably one of the greatest bodybuilders of all times. And instead of admiring his physique, we decided just to criticize his watch, even though I know Phil, he's got nice watches. But anyways, Kayron, talk to me about this guy, Aaron Banks. You're like placing third at the Olympia. There was one year that people thought like, oh my God, Kayron is going to win. You're battling out with Brandon. You're battling out with Raymond. And then this guy, Aaron Banks, come out of nowhere and surpasses you. Do you like this guy? Do you have a problem with this guy?
Absolutely not. I'm a big advocate of there's always someone waiting just in the wings, like just training hard as they see you, they see what you're doing, and like they're putting in the work. So I think that's kind of like the nature of sport, the nature of any sport. There's always someone out there working, like busting their ass to like take that spot. So I respect stuff like that because that pushes me. That makes me want to get better as well. So I think he's a really cool guy. I think he gets a bad rap on social media, but meeting him in person, I think he's a cool dude. So I have no issues with that.
Aaron Banks has a bad rap on social media?
I think people kind of like just among the competitors, there's always like being said about how he carries himself.
Oh, I want to elaborate on that. Aaron Banks, what's up with your bad rap on social media?
Hey, I'm confident. I'm secure in my own skin. That's what it is. I'm real secure. I don't
think that confidence strikes people as maybe he's arrogant?
Absolutely, 100%.
But well, anyways, in the end, you just have one man to beat, which is Brandon Hendrickson. Have you done anything different from the previous year to try to attack? Because when you look at Brandon's physique, one of the most impressive things is he is very well put together. He has no glaring weaknesses on his physique. One day I did a live with him with a Brazilian crowd, and Brandon is a very, very strategic guy. He goes, Tarek, I work out legs because I want my V-taper to be even better. I work out my upper chest. I do this and I do that. What are you doing strategically to beat Brandon Hendrickson?
Nothing. I don't have to do anything. I have to bring what I brought to Boston, and it's mine. Easy. Simple as that.
Brandon, do you disagree or you agree with that statement?
They know. They already know. They already know what the deal is. They already know what the deal is.
Tarek, I've been competing since 2013. I got 3 Mr. Olympia titles. I lost the Mr. Olympia title and got my title back. I've heard it all. I've heard everything. The only thing I got to respond with is 2018, 2020, 2021. And I'm focused. There's 13 weeks left. I have a job to do. I'm going to get the job done no matter what. And I will hold up that title in December. That's all that matters.
Hey, Diogo,
Nah.
you placed third at the Mr. Olympia, and you're looking at Brandon Hendrickson, you're looking at Aaron Banks. One thing that I noticed about your physique is you got bigger. You always had that amazing back, you know, but one thing that people might have criticized you, they say, you know what, Diogo needs more mass, and you have added that mass. Talk to me about what are you doing different to win the Mr. Olympia?
Absolutely, I agree, because I compete too, but lighter than the others competitors. So actually, I have never did a good off season. So this is the first time I put it in work, and definitely I did a great off season. I forgot for a while about my conditioning just to improve my muscle. And now we have 30 weeks to show my best, and I will be bigger at the Olympia this year.
Now, Jeremy, you know, Diogo Montenegro is kind of a physique that might remind your physique, right? You guys have kind of similar physiques. Looking at Diogo, he's got a great back, but from the front, what would you do different if you were like coaching him for this Mr. Olympia? What do you think he needs to add or reduce or do in terms of moving up?
I've always said Diogo's had a great physique, even when he wasn't placing in the top 10. I always knew Diogo was good, and it was only a matter of time before he was in the mix. And I've always talked to Diogo before the competitions, before Olympias. I always send him a message, and you know, I congratulate him afterwards because that's where he belongs. And all Diogo needs to do is put on that more size, and he's going to be a threat for that title.
I'm a fan of Diogo.
When it comes to shape, you know, he's got some best shape, if not the best shape on that stage when it comes to proportions, so shoulder to waist ratio.
Hey, I'm a big fan of Diogo. I've always been a fan of Diogo. Man. Shout out Diogo. So, all it was time. It was a matter of time.
You guys watch. Diogo's gonna, you know, Aaron's so confident going in, as he should be. He's a great competitor, but you know, you got Chiron and Diogo that are right there with you guys. It's not like any of you guys are that much better than anybody. Because you guys are all really close. It's a matter of who shows up. If Diogo puts on the size.
At the end of the day, Arnold, Boston. Diogo was in both.
That's not Arnold, dude. Arnold is an Olympia, bro.
Period.
You don't even have the best guys on stage with you at the Arnold.
Jeremy, thank you. Jeremy, thank you.
You know, so you know, you got a lot of things to accomplish before you talk the way you're talking, and that's why I don't follow you. I can't handle listening to it.
You're irrelevant. I unfollowed you.
I'm not irrelevant.
You're irrelevant. You're irrelevant,
ago, dude, and I'm
you're irrelevant, bro.
I'm not irrelevant.
At the end of the day, you're
irrelevant.
irrelevant.
Right now, you know it.
You're irrelevant.
And that's your own insecurities because you know I'm coming next year.
And honestly, bro, that's
sell
putting
a fairy tale.
That's putting disrespect on what Jeremy has done for this division. You can't disrespect what Jeremy has done for this division.
I'm not disrespecting nobody.
You are.
You've always discounted everything I've done. You've always countered. You've always counted me out. You've always disrespected everything.
I'm not saying I disrespect him as a man. So you're not gonna tell me
all I'm saying
somebody is
Diogo,
better. That's what you're not gonna do.
I'm complimenting Diogo right now. That's what I was doing. I wasn't even. I said I know you where your mind's at, Aaron, and you have every right to want the title like everybody else. But I'm saying Diogo's added a lot of size. If anybody's coming with an improved package
not a size
this year,
game.
It is for Diogo.
For Diogo.
Okay? So if Diogo makes the improvements he needs to make this year, I think he's coming with a much different package than everybody else on this stage. Brandon's been winning from year to year. He hasn't got to make many changes. He's the champ. Everything's gonna be measured off Brandon. You know, what are you doing to make yourself better to beat him? Because you didn't beat him last year. You have to do something differently. You have to bring something differently because coming with the same package, you got beat already. You got to bring something different and better. Diogo's improving. Chiron's great. You know, I saw Chiron in person in Vegas. I mean, the dude's massive.
That's the thing. You haven't seen my improvements, so stop running your mouth.
And I've never met you in person, bro. So I have never seen you in person
either.
I'm trying to say, I'm not saying that, bro. I'm trying to say I haven't. So I don't know. I've never seen you in person. Social media is different. I'm not coming at you sideways in any way, bro. It just, you got to give respect to the people sitting here because everybody deserves a
I
spot at
don't
this
have to
table.
respect nobody because nobody. If you're not respecting me, I'm not respecting you.
So,
Period.
so
No
guys,
one's dissed you any disrespect, though. No one said
Guys.
anything disrespectful to you.
guys, let me just interject here.
Man, it's
So
embarrassing.
Jeremy's
I gotta
back.
let me just interject here. So, what Jeremy is
Nobody's gonna say
saying,
anything.
what
Nobody's
Jeremy,
gonna say anything though.
what
Say
Jeremy is
again?
what Jeremy is saying is that for Diogo to move up is just adding a little bit of size, and then Brandon is agreeing with him. Now, Aaron, in regards to your physique only, do you see yourself needing to make any improvements, or you think the physique you brought to Boston and Arnold will be enough to win the Mr. Olympia?
Yes, from talking to Steve, Sandy, Tyler, any big time judge, that's all I need was Boston. But going into this Olympia, we've already improved the chest more.
So, Chiron,
What's going on?
Chiron, going to you, in terms of your physique, what do you think you need to change in order to have a better physique at the 2022 Mr. Olympia? Because there was one year that some people said that you might have been too big. Do you agree with that?
I've definitely gotten that criticism before, and I think this past New York Pro, I think I sized down. And I think I just came in a lot more streamlined, and that's what I'm focused on right now. Is coming in streamlined and just like bringing that stage presence, bringing the pose, and bringing like my energy to stage. And I think it always makes a statement. It always makes a moment. So that's what I plan on doing.
It's interesting, Chiron, because I've been watching you since you won the USAs, and you've been able to change your body very easily. You've gained size, and sometimes you reduce size. You are the only bodybuilder, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're the only bodybuilder in the history of the IFBB Pro League to win 2 shows in one weekend. Is that correct?
I remember that.
Nuts.
Absolutely.
That was crazy.
You won in San Diego and you won in Reno.
He flew up the same
Yeah,
day.
he flew the next day.
Absolutely. I think in this game, I've learned that there's like things that you can't control. So I'm focusing on like building my legacy and like leaving something in bodybuilding that's like that can be remembered. So
You did
that's what I'm
that.
focused on right now.
You did that. That was a good weekend, bro.
Appreciate you.
So, Chiron, if we had a show on Friday, would you do 3 shows in a weekend?
Who knows? Depending on how I'm feeling. if I'm mad.
I'm just curious. Did you look better in San Diego on Saturday, or did you look better on Sunday in Reno?
You know what? I think I looked better the San Diego show. I didn't like my shorts that much, in San Diego. But I think I looked better in San Diego.
Did you
the complete
fly?
package was better.
Did you fly to Reno?
I drove.
You drove. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy. I had an opportunity to judge Ashley Kallwasser. She's one of the greatest bodybuilders of all times. And Ashley won in Texas, and then she came to compete in Tahoe. But I could see that her body got a little tired, especially because the prejudging was in the morning and the finals were in the evening. In the finals, her body just got a little flat. But, congratulations. That's a huge, huge accomplishment. Now, Brandon, you are obviously just doing the Mr. Olympia. You're not doing any other show. Do you feel that doing just one show is your best opportunity to maintain your title, or you're kind of like a guy that likes competing a little bit more to get a feel for your body?
I mean, after so many shows, almost 37, 38 shows, 3 Olympia titles, I kind of know what to do at this point. Not doing a show, just doing a show will just add more variables to my prep. So for me, it would be a distraction. So I'm actually like blessed that I don't have to like compete before the Mr. Olympia. I can actually really focus on getting the next title. But yeah, if the opportunity was there and it sounded good, I would compete before the Mr. Olympia title. And I would compete after. In 2018, I won the first title. I did Korea Pro, Tokyo Pro, and China Pro, and I won all 3 as a Mr. Olympia. 1 month after winning the Mr. Olympia title. After winning this last Mr. Olympia title, I competed in Italy at the Yamamoto Cup Pro and won. So I'm not afraid to do any shows before or after Mr. Olympia.
So my question to you is this. There's been some speculation in the insides of the bodybuilding industry that Brandon Hendrickson has the ability and the potential to move up to classic physique and be a contender. Looking at the size of your legs, nobody would disagree with that. What do you think about that statement?
Yeah, I think I have the potential to be a hybrid Mr. Olympia. I think I have the potential to obtain the Mr. Olympia title in Classic if I were to focus on training for Classic. Right now, my focus is training for the men's physique division. So I'm creating a shape for men's physique. Now, if I decided to compete in Classic physique and I started to train and took the time off and put on the muscle that I needed to compete, I think I do have the potential to be top 3 in Mr. Olympia, if not the champion.
In the classic physique division.
In the classic physique. 2 to 3 years. If I were to go 100% train for classic physique, I think I could be a multi-division Mr. Olympia champion.
That's a statement right there. Now, is that something that you have honestly considered and that it could happen in the future?
I've definitely considered it, but could it happen right now? I'm not thinking about that. This is one step at a time. Right now is getting this 4th title at Mr. Olympia in December.
Yeah, I had a live with Breon Ansley, and Breon Ansley said, Tarek, I am heavily considering moving to the 212, and I want to be the first multi-category Mr. Olympia. So it would be fun to have you guys in both categories. Jeremy, talk about this comeback. Jeremy Buendia, I saw on Instagram, when I saw on Instagram that you were coming back, I was like, man, Jeremy is exciting. It's not only the physique, but he's an exciting guy. You know what I mean? I know that now you're a dad and you're a husband, but for a moment there, you were the most exciting guy in bodybuilding. You were like the Conor McGregor of bodybuilding.
Yeah, that's, I guess, good and bad. Mostly bad as the end of it was for me, but
no, Jeremy, let me tell you, we're full of boring guys. I miss the crazy Jeremy, to be honest.
yeah, that guy's long gone. You know, I got a family and a daughter to set a good example for now, so I had to make a lot of changes. You know, what's inspired me for this comeback is you know, I didn't walk away from the stage the way I wanted to. You know, I wanted to walk away from the stage as a champion. I've always had 5 on my mind since I won my first title. I wanted to get 5. Partly because Jay Cutler, when I first got my title, me, Jay, Hani, Phil, we're all sitting around. And Jay looked at me and goes, you got to get 5, bro. You got to beat me. And I remember him saying that. And I looked at him. He's like, I'm like, you think I can do it? He goes, yeah, you can do it. So it's always been in the back of my mind. And it's, you know, I have a tattoo on my neck of tallies. And the whole idea was to get a cross tally. And, you know, there was a certain point where after Olympia where I thought I was done. And, you know, I had to do some rebuilding. And it's led me to the point where I want to get back on stage because it's just something that I know I need to do. And I'm in a better place now with the support of my family and, you know, being grounded where I feel I can be a real threat again to this division and potentially get my title back if everything lines up.
Now, mentally, you seem to be on point. And we know you're a very determined, your work ethic is like no other. My question to you is, physically, are you able to bring the old Jeremy Buendia that we're used to seeing, or do you think that chest hair might be detrimental?
No, I'm going to bring a better physique than you guys ever seen. Bigger. I'm much bigger than I ever have been in the past. I just got started my off season, my first real off season. Just like Diogo, I never took my off season seriously. I never really grew. And, you know, I have a coach now. I'm working with the coach out of Arborist Gym in Denver, Colorado. That's where Phil Heath trained. And we're really dialing and focusing on putting on the size. And if I'm able to bring that dominant physique and bring it improved, I don't think, you know, my chest is going to be something that's going to hold me back. You know, I'm going to be able to manipulate my posing and bring a physique that's going to be able to stand with the best of them and potentially, get win again.
Aaron, based on what you've said, you're winning the 2022 Mr. Olympia. Who's placing second to you at the 2022 Mr. Olympia?
Well, at the end of the day, I know for a fact it'll be me, Brandon, and Kyron in that mix. So out of those two, you can choose that, but they can fight for that one.
Kyron,
Yeah.
you're a pretty confident guy. If you're winning the
Absolutely.
Mr. Olympia, who's finishing in the top 3 with you?
Whoever deserves it. That's about it. That's not my concern. My concern is what I do.
You're so cute, Kyron. I love you.
I am.
You're one of the cutest guys in the business. That's why you're most beloved guy in the business. Diogo, according to Aaron Banks, you're not going to be in the top 3. I think you disagree with that. Where are you finishing in the 2022 Mr. Olympia?
Probably first. Why not? But I'm pretty sure that I'm not gonna be out of the top 3. I'm pretty sure, man.
And Aaron Banks mentioned that you were in Boston and you were at the Arnold Classic, correct?
Sure.
And you were unable to beat him. What are you doing in terms of improving that you saw that now you can beat Aaron Banks?
Of course, since 2021, I did 6 competitions in a row, and my physique was not on point. So, and even with not on point, I can do good position, like third in Arnold and second in Boston. So now it's my first off season, and I can put the muscle I need to be bigger and to make more a good shape in stage. So I think it was less this for me, and I'm gonna show you in Olympia.
Very cool, very cool. Now, guys, since you guys are being very politically correct in regards to the men's physique division, I want to ask you guys, let's talk about bodybuilding, because all of us are fans of bodybuilding, right? There we have some of the new guys coming up in the sport, and a lot of people were saying that possibly the popularity of bodybuilding went down because we didn't have a lot of exciting guys. And now we look at the classic physique division, C-Bum is 10 million Instagram followers. You got guys like Terrence Ruffin. He's an amazing poser. You got guys like Ramon Dino from Brazil, Urs Kalaczynski, Brian Ansley. And then in the men's physique division, you guys took the world by storm. You guys were the most active guys on social media. But now we have some new stars in bodybuilding. And we have Blessing Awodibu. We have this guy, Andrew Jack. We have the new guys that were in the other organization, Michael Krizo. We have Vitaly Gudovito. Who do you guys think is the new star coming up to the scene that can make an impact on this 2022 Mr. Olympia? I'll start with you, Brandon.
I like the way Blessing's coming. I'm just a fan of the new shape, the new aesthetics, the small waist. They're bringing the small waist back with the massive size. Like, I respect it with the symmetry. It's not just a bunch of muscle everywhere, Honestly, I'm not too into like the bodybuilding division as much because I'm just focused on what I got to do. I don't get too much in the mix, but I am watching. I'm a big fan of Blessing, so I'm gonna just go with Blessing.
Jeremy, out of all these young guys coming into the bodybuilding scene, which is the guy that you like, that you go, I think this guy can make an impact?
I think they all can potentially make an impact if they continue to work hard, because there's certain levels of bodybuilding. The younger guys have a lot of growing to do when they get on stage next to guys like Rami and Hadi Chopin and Nick Walker. And I know Nick Walker is young, but there's these guys are big. They're big and they're thick, and it's going to be interesting. I think they all have the potential to be great, but I still think there's some maturity that needs to come along. I'm really happy that Andrew Jack's got into the organization. I've known Andrew before he even started competing, And to see him evolve into the great athlete and bodybuilder, his potential is endless for that guy. Same thing with Blessing. Blessing's got an amazing physique on him, and he brings a lot of personality to the sport. And it's great to see that the bodybuilders. I mean, I got ridiculed before for saying that the bodybuilders didn't do enough on social media, and to see them now actively, putting content out there and getting involved. Nick Walker is doing a great job. I saw he got voted to like top 10 most influential people on Generation Iron or something in bodybuilding. And he's only 28. He hasn't been doing this too long, but he's making a huge impact. And I think that's really good for the bodybuilding division.
It's interesting you mentioned Andrew Jack. You knew him before he started competing. Talk to me a little bit about, what he did prior to competing.
I met him at the Dubai Muscle Show in 2017 or 18. He was hanging out with Larry Wheels a lot, and they're doing all their videos together. I'm not sure if he was competing yet. I mean, he looked like he had the physique too. He came over to one of our booths and he did this pull-up contest, and he did like 70-something pull-ups. It was insane. But at like 265, 270 pounds. So he's a great athlete. He's a great guy. He's always checking up on me, always congratulating me on my progress and stuff. So I'm just really happy for him. He deserves it. He's a good dude, and I'm just happy to see his success.
Very cool. Chiron, I know you follow bodybuilding, you follow classic physique. And let me tell you, Jeremy is right, because in the times that we live in right now, it is important for a competitor to be active on social media. And Nick Walker, one time I was doing a live with Blessing and Ian Valier, and Nick Walker actually sent me a message and said, I want to get in this live right now. And it brought huge attention. He's one of those guys that people love. Now, Chiron, out of all these new guys coming up in bodybuilding, which are active on social media, which one is your favorite?
I think I would go with Andrew Jack, although he's not so much on social media, like with controversy and just talking that much. I think his physique is on point. I do think Nick Walker, I think he's a good dude. He has that energy that's like making a lot of waves in bodybuilding. And so is Blessing. So I'd like them both for their energy, but Andrew Jack, I think his physique and just what he brings to stage is like the best at this point.
Aaron, who do you like out of all these young, new, exciting bodybuilders coming up to the scene?
Man, I'm gonna go with my guy Charles Griffin. Again, like Brandon said, it's the aesthetics with the small waist, but then when you got a big, massive dude like that can do a vacuum and still look crazy, I got to go with Charles Griffin.
So, Charles Griffin, he's an exciting guy. I judged him when he took third at the USA's, and Cody Montgomery won that class. In second place was Gerald Williams. And coming off the stage, Charles Griffin looked at all of us judges and said, I'll see you guys in Miami. And he went to the Nationals and won his pro card. I just judged him at the Cal, and he won the Cal. I'm very close to Charles, and I'm so happy for his success. Diogo, out of all the bodybuilders, if he doesn't say Rafael Brandão, the Brazilians are going to kill him. I mean, the Brazilians are.
I didn't even bring him up. Yeah, he's awesome too.
If you don't say anything positive about Rafael Brandão, and if you don't say anything positive about Ramon Dino, they start sending you dinosaurs.
They hate me.
Yeah. So who's the most exciting guy?
Talking about personally and the confidence, I think it's Nick Walker. But talking about shape, I think it's Rafael Brandão have the most aesthetic shape in bodybuilding, and then I love it.
Very cool, very cool. Gentlemen, before we finish, I want to talk to you guys about something. Brandon, there's millions and millions of men's physique guys that are watching, and they want to be a competitor. They want to turn pro. They want to become, Jeremy Buendia, Brandon Hendrickson, Aaron Banks, and Chiron Holden, and Diogo Montenegro. What is your message to these guys?
Just mainly to not compare yourself to others. Comparison is the steal of joy. Really just enjoy the process. Be patient. And don't rush it in an unhealthy way. Do this for longevity. Don't just do this because you want the title now. You want to win right now. Don't think right now. This is a marathon sport. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon sport. So it takes time to become a champion. If you don't win that show, it's okay. As long as you progress, you got better, you ate your meals, you did your cardio, you did your training on point, the title doesn't mean anything. It's about the work you put in. That's what makes you a champion. The first place, second place, the titles don't mean anything. So just remember that, and just to never give up. Because like I said, it's a marathon sport. It takes time, but whatever you are consistent with and whatever you're relentless with and you want to achieve, you can achieve it.
Well, I just want to elaborate a little bit. You mentioned in this live that you lost the Mr. Olympia. You lost your title. Was that the most challenging moment in your professional career?
That was hard because I was all over the billboards after I won the first title. I was on the billboards. I was on the elevator doors. The first 4 years being at the Mr. Olympia from 2015 to 2018, I was watching Jeremy's face open and close on the elevator doors. So that was one of my dreams, was to be on the elevator door at the Orleans Hotel. So to have finally achieved that is just a blessing,
Oh man, let me call Dan Solomon right now. Make sure we have your picture on the elevator.
But yeah, the next year I lost the title and I was off those elevator doors. I was off those billboards, and to have seen that was just humbling. To have been the best in the world to now being at the bottom again. So it taught me a lot. But I never gave up. It actually made me better. It was a blessing in disguise to have lost that title. I'm grateful that I did, because it made me a better person and a better champion.
Very cool, very cool. Man, I'm going to work on those elevator doors, because I was just at Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood, and they have about 16 elevator doors.
Oh, damn.
And we're going to have...
You guys get 4 elevators each, damn.
Hey, Brendan, well, I'm going to have to talk to C-Bum and Big Rami and say, hey, Brendan wants all the elevators, guys.
And the billboards.
And the billboards.
Yeah, the billboards, dope. That's dope.
Let me tell you, the Zappos Theater, where the Mr. Olympia is going to take place, is the greatest bodybuilding venue in the history of the Mr. Olympia. I'm saying this right now to you guys. I was there yesterday with the owner, Jake Wood, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Phil Heath, Jay Cutler, Dorian Yates, and Ronnie Coleman. Nobody has competed in a venue like the Zappos Theater. When you guys step on that stage and you see the audience and the acoustic, is the greatest bodybuilding venue. This Mr. Olympia is going to be one for the ages. Jeremy, talk to me about your most challenging moment, the moment that you said, oh, God, this one hurts.
I've had a lot of those moments, man. Losing the Olympia title, that was hard. When I knew, that was the end of my reign at that point. Being on top for 4 years, I got very comfortable up there. It was nice being on top. It was nice walking in Olympia and seeing all those pictures of yourself, seeing the billboards like Brandon was saying, and knowing that you got a full year of being the champ. I hadn't experienced not having that since I was 22 years old. So it was a whole different world for me, and my world came crashing down. And it took some rebuilding. And like I said, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be in the mindset I'm in right now, and I'm excited to get back on stage and give the guys a run for the money again. I'm excited to watch you guys this year. I really am. It's going to be so much fun to be out there at Olympia, see you guys battling out. I got nothing but respect for you guys. You guys have definitely elevated the division since I left. But I want you all to know that while you guys are cutting and getting ready for your show, I'm going to be doing all my growing and getting bigger and better. And I'm coming for you guys next year. So don't take me lightly. And I'm excited to battle it out and, be able to hang out with you guys backstage and have a good time and put on a show for the rest of the world, man.
I saw Jeremy's career from the beginning. He competed in Northern California. He competed in Southern California. He turned pro. And then Jeremy came out to really explode the men's physique division. And I think Jeremy was fantastic in terms of popularity, and I think he was a phenomenal athlete. And I'm going to tell you this, Jeremy, I know that right now you're a different guy, but I tell you, you were a great guy. You were great with the fans. You were great promoting men's physique. And like all of us, we've made mistakes, but don't be so hard on yourself, because the division today is is huge because you were one of the guys that really propelled. And like everybody else, we make mistakes, but don't be so hard. As a judge,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
as a promoter, a bodybuilder, Jeremy Buendia overall did a great job. Kyron Holden. I know you more than I know all these guys because I saw you taking third at the Mr. USA's and you were holding the tears because you saw two guys turning pro ahead of you. And then the following year, you came back and you became Mr. USA's overall.
Absolutely.
You've won more than 10 pro shows. You've won 2 pro shows in a weekend. All the competitors who dream to be in the first call out of the Mr. Olympia, what would be your message?
To stick with it. Everything's not going to go your way sometimes, but like if this is what you want, stay with it. Like, when I say consistency, I don't mean just like going through the motions. Like have some actual fuel behind what you're doing, some actual passion behind what you're doing.
Very cool. I'm a huge fan of Kyron. I seen it. I think I've judged you for more than 10 years, right?
I think so. Just about.
It's about 10 years. Hey, Diogo, in Brazil, we know how big men's physique is. Is like, you know, sometimes we have 500 men's physique competitors in one show. It's incredible. And people look at you and Felipe Franco as the two guys that pioneered the division. But in Brazil is different, right? It's different because it's not only about winning or losing. In Brazil, it's about getting a supplement company to give you a little bit of money so you can have a little bit of a future, right? It's different for us. I know it and you know it. When a men's physique competitor that barely has any money to compete gets that first contract, it means more to him because he doesn't have the opportunities that we have here in the United States. What is your message to those young Brazilians that sometimes live in areas like Brandon saw, right, in the favelas, and they don't have access to almost anything, but they want to put the board shorts and they want to win and maybe make a little bit of money for their families?
So guys, you have to do the hard work and be confident in yourself because everything pays off. You know, bodybuilding is a beautiful sport. You don't have to do bodybuilding think about money or think about just a title. You have to do bodybuilding with your heart because you love it. So if you love it, you can be confident, you can be disciplined, you know, you can do the right things to be full in your life. And if you do bodybuilding with your heart, you can achieve goals because you do a lifestyle. You just don't do a competition, you know.
Very cool. Diogo also now is a father, and it was cool because his wife was pregnant, and when he was prepping for the Mr. Olympia, we did a live in Brazil, and he said, Tarek, it meant more this time because I knew I wasn't doing it for myself. I was doing for my family. So that was a really cool story. Aaron Banks, you turned pro at the USA's. You rose really fast on the sport. A lot of people look at you and go, this guy is rising so fast. What's your word and the inspiration for all the people coming up to watch you guys that dream in being you guys?
Anybody looking at how fast I did it, don't look at how fast I did it because at the end of the day, it's all on God's timing. Somebody else can do it faster than I could. Somebody also can have that longer route. Again, there's been guys who've been competing in this division for quite a few years. You know what I mean? Like look at Diogo. He now has a top 3 Olympian and he's been competing for a while. You see what I'm saying? So everybody has their own timing. It's all on God's speed. Is just take your time and again, it's all ends with the hard work that you really put in.
Very cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been judging the Mr. Olympia for quite a few years, and I've been judging with the IFBB Pro League for over 15 years. And I've seen the first men's physique competition. I have seen the first bikini competition. I have seen the first classic physique competition. And the men's physique division's popularity has grown tremendously. because the competitors are phenomenal. I talk about their conditioning as being just as good, if not better, than other categories. When you look at their midsection, when you look at their separation, their ability to display their physique is unprecedented. I often say that we are living the golden age of bodybuilding because we have phenomenal bodybuilders in different categories. Jeremy Buendia was an icon and exploded the division. Brandon Hendrickson is one of the greatest physiques we've ever seen. Kyron Holden has won shows on Saturday. He has shown shows on Sunday. He has won more than pro shows. I have seen Aaron Banks rise to the top in one of the most amazing physiques, and I've seen Diogo Montenegro really bring an entire country together when he plays third. I want to congratulate all of you guys. You guys are 5 of the greatest bodybuilders we have. I'm excited to judge you guys at the Mr. Olympia. And Jeremy, the comeback is real. I believe in you. Guys, thank you so much. And we'll see you guys at the Mr. Olympia. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys at the Mr. Olympia. Take care. Bye-bye.